Welcome to the Chapter 1 worksheet, and I'm Professor G, and I'm going to sort of walk your way through the very first assignment like this so you have an idea of how it's supposed to go. First off, you should make sure you read this section right up here, because these Microsoft Excel worksheets require you to enter cell-based formulas and functions. I'm going to show you how I do that, and so let's get started. This is the typical kind of formula that you'll be using here. It starts with an equal sign, and then there's a cell location, and so the number from that cell location will go into whatever cell you put the formula in. And so read this through so you can see what's going on. Before we open up this worksheet here, the one thing I should say is the first part of this homework assignment is to fill in the Excel worksheet, and then the second part is to change the data up in the top of the worksheet and then answer some questions. So we'll get started with that. Okay, and this is the Excel worksheet. You may get this thing here called Protected View, and if you do that, go up here and click on Tell me what you want to do, and then click on Enable Editing, and that will allow you to put formulas into this particular worksheet. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see, we're looking for sales, and let's see, I'm going to press the equal key, and we're going to click on the sales from up in the data section, and there's your $12,000. The next thing would be cost of goods sold, and so that's that 6,000 right there. And then to figure the gross margin, click the equal key, sales minus key up there, and when we press the enter key, we've got $6,000 worth of gross margin. Now this is a traditional format income statement. That means the selling and administrative expenses contain both the variable and fixed costs. So keeping that in mind, we're going to press the equal key and click on the variable selling expenses plus the fixed selling expenses. Okay, now for the administrative, it's variable administrative expenses plus the fixed administrative. And so we've got that figure. Now let's come up with a total. So equal key, that plus that, and that gives you 5,000. Now for the net operating income, equals the gross margin amount, that number right there, minus the selling and administrative expenses, and you've got $1,000 worth of net operating income. Okay, these numbers are real simple, but they'll get more complicated as you change the data up here. Okay, contribution format income statement, basically the same, except the variable expenses are in one area and the fixed expenses are in another. So let's start out with the sales again. And so that's your $12,000. Okay, so we've got the cost of goods sold, and that is the 6,000 over here. So you notice that the cost of goods sold, even though it doesn't say expense, it is a variable expense or a variable cost. Okay, variable selling, 600. Whoops. And the variable administrative. Okay, this gives us an opportunity to do a function. And so I'm going to do equal SUM and click on that. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3 and click on that. And we've got the sum of these three items right there. Now we'll do this minus the variable expenses, and that gives us our contribution margin. Now let's do our fixed selling expenses. Fixed selling is up here. So it's pretty quick what we're putting together here. Okay, so now we're going to take our fixed expenses and add them together. and net operating income. So that's the contribution margin minus the fixed administrative expenses, and we got our $1,000. So we got our $1,000 that way, we got our $1,000 that way. Okay, so that is the worksheet. We've got that filled out. Then the next step would go back to the assignment itself. I have it in Windows, so that's the reason why I've clicked right there. And then I can click on Next right here. And you can see that these are the suggested changes they want you to make. And then based on those changes, they ask you some questions, and so you fill out those particular answers. And then they're going to have you do that same thing again. We scroll down, so make sure you answer all these questions. That's about all there is to this first assignment. I think you're going to enjoy using Microsoft Excel. If you plan to be a manager, this is going to be one of your best tools that you're ever going to have. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.